there, crafty friends. This is Michael, and I'm back with another video. This one will be short and easy, but I just wanted to show you this little wrapping a gift situation that I did here that was so easy. I think I learned this from Katie Taylor, and it's just such a good idea that I wanted to show you how I did it. So let me set that aside, and I'll pull in the things that I need. So this is an envelope, just a craft-based envelope. I probably got this on Amazon somewhere a long time ago. It is about 5 3/4 by 9 3/4 inches. So just to give you a size, don't worry about the size in particular because you can really modify this to however you want to do it. I have a zip strip. If you are a close to my heart fan of Days Gone By, you may have a few of these in your stash. If not, any 1/2-inch strip of paper will work. And then because this is a gift for a teacher, I had in my stash some of this paper. Do you remember that from our school days? A bit of lined paper to practice your lettering. And then I also took a die cut to create this tag right here and a stamp from my stash. You've got this. And then if you watched my last video, you know what's inside here. I'll link that up above. And I took the leftover pieces from the banners that I made, and I used that to create a little pencil look and add that to my tag. So let me show you how I created this envelope gift pouch. So I did just seal this envelope closed right here. And then I have already cut my paper the same width as my envelope. And for this, because of the size of what I needed, I trimmed this down to about 3 1/4 inches. So let's pull out my ruler here, come back down, and I'm gonna remeasure that. Yeah, it was 3 1/4 inches. So at about 3 1/4 inches here, and I'm just gonna add a little bit of a crease there just to mark my spot. Now I'm gonna put some glue on the back side here, and you can use your favorite adhesive. You want it to be fairly strong because this is something that's gonna get handled and you don't want it to fall apart. So I've got my liquid glue here, and at about 3 1/4 inches, I'm just gonna glue this on. And what I like about the liquid glue is I can move it around a little bit and get that a nice good seal on that. And then I'm gonna measure another 3 1/4 inches here and cut this off. This would be great for a card or another tag or message. And I'm just gonna use my fingers and my fingernail because a bone folder would be handy but isn't on my desk. And then I'm gonna glue down this flap. And I am gonna go all the way to the edge and bring that on. Okay, now our back piece. So you've got your front and your back. I'm calling this the back because this is where the seam is from the envelope. Now to make this have a little more interest, I like to cut it at a diagonal. So I'm gonna put this at the 1-inch point over here. And I'm gonna put this right on my cut line. So I'm cutting in 1 inch all the way down to this corner of here. And I'll just give that a cut. Didn't quite go through because I've got so many layers of paper. So I'm gonna reposition that, make sure that I'm lined up here. And now I've gone through all my pieces of paper. I'm a little short on this side, so I'll show you how I'm gonna fix that. And then this, I don't need that extra piece, so I'm gonna cut this off right here and cut it straight across. So here is my pouch for my little gift. And then this is going to be the top of that pouch, and that's gonna slide on just like that. Isn't that awesome? You could do this with any size of an envelope, right? Because if you had something small, even a gift card, you could pick one of the smaller envelopes and create the same thing. Now I'm gonna take my zip strip, but any 1/2-inch piece will work. I'm gonna give it a little glue along here and just decorate that edge. You can see my theme here is school. So I'm adding this alphabet set here. And then I'm gonna just trim that. And now remember that was a little bit shorter than, or showing the paper more than I was intending. So I'm gonna just use this to cover that area, since that's how that turned out. And I'll put that on the edge and bring this down around and seal that down good. Okay. And then trimming this along the edge here just to give it a nice clean cut. And right here also. Okay, there it is, right? So easy. Now I'm gonna put in the banner that I made. And again, you can see the video on how I made these, but these fit in here nicely. I kind of pre-planned that. So this is gonna go in here nicely. And just tuck that extra ribbon in there. And then I can open this lid up. And tuck that pouch right in there. And it can go as far down as you want it, or you can leave it up. I'm gonna go ahead and leave this up a little bit. I like the size that it looks there, even though it is not requiring that size. And then I punched a tag. This was from one of my paper pumpkin die cuts, extra die cuts. I'm gonna put some foam tape behind this little pencil that I've made and add that to a tag. I knew that when I made these banners, I did not want to waste the extra paper. And so as I was putting together and figuring out how I was gonna wrap this, I realized that those would make fun little pencils right there. Now I have some ribbon here. This is the white 1/4-inch ribbon from Stampin' Up. And I am gonna just add that to here. I'm gonna give it kind of a guesstimate measurement, use my snips, which I've added a ribbon on to determine that these are for ribbon only. And I'm gonna tie this package together. So I did a knot here. And then I used the pointy end of this to come through and attach my tag. Here we go. And then I'm gonna use this shorter end and make my rabbit ear for my bow. And then pull that down to the size that you like. And there is an easily wrapped little gift. So if you have enjoyed this video and like this idea, give me a thumbs up. And if you think it would be a video that someone else would enjoy, please share it. And make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can be shown when the next video is available.